When I was a young kid, I would go to my grandfather's every summer, seems like, in Tyler, Texas. Now, I lived in Houston, Texas area at the time, and I would go and stay with my grandparents, Mama and Papa. And it was funny because every year, my grandfather, or maybe it wasn't every year or two or something. Anyway, it seemed like it was every year. We would show up at some point, either to visit them or coming in the summer. I don't know exactly what time of the year you actually do this, but I remember him doing this. We would come in and he would have these holly bushes that were out in front of their building, all the way cut back. They looked horrible. They were all the way, almost looked like they were down to the sticks. And I was always perplexed by this, thinking, my goodness, he's destroyed them, he killed them. And sure enough, every time they would come back, beautiful and full. The leaves, none of them looked burnt or like they had disease or problems or broken or anything. They were all fresh and beautiful. And I've never had much of a green thumb, but this I do know. If you're going to be successful with plants, you have to prune. You have to take some of the stuff off, the dead stuff, just some of the overgrowth, some of the pieces that run off in a different direction. And in a business, it's like that. You have to be willing to get rid of projects that are off the path. You have to be willing to get rid of people that don't fit. You have to be willing to get rid of processes that are dead or broken. And you have to be willing to prune the business. And I think that's one of the most exciting things in a business, is that it's always changing and it's always new. I remember one of the quotes that Zig Ziglar used to say. He said, you're either green and growing or you're ripe and rotting. And the fact is that you're either pruning and feeding and nurturing your business, nurturing your baby, or you're ripe and rotting. You're dying on the vine. So I want to encourage you today, as you take your journey, and as I take you maybe along on this journey, you can see some of that of what we do, and I'll try to share more and more of those insights and those changes that we go through. But I want to encourage you to take the time to pluck away some of the things that you don't need, some of the things that don't matter, some of the things that are damaging. Hey, it could be people. In other words, maybe not people directly in your company, but it could be people that are impacting you. I was listening to one of my fellow speakers yesterday, and he made a statement. I've said the same thing many, many times, that your income is the average or sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And whether or not that ultimately works out to be true in every single case, it certainly is true as an overall idea or rule of life. And that is that you're going to find it very difficult to rise above the people that you spend time with. So spend time with quality people and get rid of the negative people that are in your life. Get rid of the people that are distracting you. Get rid of the people that are not supporting you, and certainly get rid of the people who are nettling at you and telling you that you can't do it. Zizi, look at me. All right, good.